Thank you, Philip. He was giving me a history lesson the moment I got out of my car today. He said, I don't have time to give it to you all, but we have a lifetime of learning. We have a lifetime of learning. That's a beautiful thing. I hope I'm always a sponge, because there's always something else that we don't know. You know, the more you know, the more you know you don't know, right? So we'll always be learning for our entire life, and there's someone here who knows the intricacies of the land that we sit on and we gather in today very well, who's going to come and give you a welcome as well. His name is Terry Brown, and he is the Superintendent of Fort Monroe National Monument.
Good afternoon. It's so nice to see your beautiful faces. I arrived here in 2016 with a couple goals in mind. One was to protect this resource. That's part of the National Park Service mission. The other objective was to bring young people into this space. And if you've been paying close attention, I've been bringing them in here to work on some of these historic buildings. And I've even hired a few. I've also made it my mission to develop a partnership not only with the city, not only with the school system or the Fort Monroe Authority, but with you. Look at you. Look at where you are today. And then the last goal is always to make sure that you understand that you're relevant in this space. I'll say that again. To make sure that you're relevant in this space. Take a look behind me. You see that tree right there? It's the middle one. It's the Algernon oak tree. That tree is 500 years old. Now the contraband was here 158 years ago, right? That's 500 years. So that tree witnessed American Indians out here canoeing and fishing and camping and eating hickory nuts. It witnessed Captain John Smith, Christopher Newport. It witnessed those 20 and odd Africans stepping off that ship. It witnessed President Barack Obama making this a national monument. Yeah. It's really important that you have ownership of this space. It's really important. So I feel good today that you're here. Working with people like the mayor of this city. Almost every event that I put on, he shows up. And I give you a lot of credit for that. Thank you. There's another significant partnership, Project 1619. Where's Calvin? Raise your hand, Calvin. He's back there. Now let me tell you something, folks. That's a trooper for this community. Both he and Dr. Wiggins, I've sat in meetings with them. The things they're doing behind the scenes for this community will blow your mind. In a few years, we're going to put a new memorial dedicated to 1619 out here. And that's behind their efforts. In August of this year, August 24th, we're opening up a brand new visitor and education center with the help of the Fort Monroe Authority. That's in honor of 1619. And we've invited former President Barack Obama. I don't know if he's coming, but you need to write some letters, and he hasn't said no yet. So we're going to proceed as if he's coming. And once he finishes his speech, see how I'm speaking that into existence? Once he finishes his speech, Project 1619 go into their festivities that they've been doing for nearly 20 plus years. And then we culminate that with a concert down at the Paradise Social Club where the Sounds of Blackness will be here. And then the next day, and this is why leadership matters, because the next day I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to try to hold a Healing Day ceremony, August 25th. That's actually the day they arrived. what I want to do is have a 1-minute bell ringing across the nation at 3 o'clock. And I'm going to give out bells, and we're all, no matter if you're black, white, tall, or green, we're all going to do this together across the nation. And you have to show up for that event. Because if 10 people show up, they're going to think I'm not relevant here. Right? And then we're going to have gospel music, and we're going to have young people honoring their ancestors. We come from greatness. Do you know that Africa is so big that you could take all the languages in all the continents, and Africa would still speak more languages than all the continents put together? Did you know that? When Africans arrived here, they brought their music, their words, their aesthetic values. All these things were important in developing a hybrid American culture. You are relevant. America is not America without you. I'm speaking to the choir on that, am I not? As superintendent, my goal is to make sure that African women are talked about here. Oh yeah. And I'm not afraid to say that on the microphone. They're not talked about. They're relevant. You gain your ancestry. You gain your status as a slave through the woman. There's a lot of history with that. You are relevant here. It's an honor to serve as superintendent. I've created a commemorative brochure. I have a few of them here. This is for you to keep forever. This was done blood, sweat, and tears of my staff, the Fort Monroe Authority, and the community. This is yours. And I thank you for your support. The National Park Service, as long as I'm here, will always support this community. Period. No doubt about it. I think black-owned businesses should be at Fort Monroe. That's right, I said it. I do. You're not going to hear a superintendent speaking that way. I drove in this morning and I thought I saw some horses riding around my park. Somebody told me they were the Buffalo Soldiers. Do you know the first park rangers were? Look at you. Buffalo Soldiers. Who you think was protecting the West? Yeah. It's important that you pick up a book and read. I'm going to close with this. When I arrived in 2016, I was out on the Continental Park grounds. And I was running around. I didn't know too many people. And there was a group of people that were taking a group photo. And for some weird reason, I said, can I take a picture with you guys? And I'm standing in the middle of the group. And I'm looking to my right and left, and they're just smiling and laughing. They have this beautiful harmony amongst the whole family. And somebody told me that it was the Tucker family. Have you ever heard of the Tucker family? Yeah. Raise your hand if you have. Okay. Well, when the 20 and I stepped off the ship, two of them, Isabel and Anthony, were taken into the home of Captain William Tucker. And in 1624, Isabel and Anthony had a child by the name of William Tucker. That family was the family that I was taking a picture with. That deserves a round of applause. It did not start at Jamestown. It started within an arm shot of here. But it's also important that we understand it doesn't really matter where they started. It's their experience here. That we actually survived. Right? We took on your name. We learned to buy property. We learned the laws to gain our freedom. It's the greatest survival story in American history. I'm so proud of you. Walk with your chest out today. Thank you for the opportunity.